think we're on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zollo, your host. It didn't come up.
We don't need a jingle today. We'll jingle at the end.
We'll jingle at the end anyway. Welcome down to the Weekend Wellness Show. This is Liam Zollo, your host. I'm with my lovely co-host, Sheena, Alexandra. And we've got a special guest here, Ryan Whippet Clark, one of my old mates, and I look at him as a bit of a mentor and a role model myself, so super excited to have Ryan down on the show. Welcome, Ryan.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. It's good to be here. Beautiful day for it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? We're very lucky to have this office down in the lovely Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. So we had to bring you down here. You are a Bondi Rescue star, as I say. You were an actor as well. Are you doing much acting these days?
Nah, mate, not much. It's only doing story time for the kids.
Yeah,
That's about the only acting I'm doing at the moment.
That was a tongue twister.
I know, I couldn't even get that out. But, I haven't done much of that for a while, but still busy working down here as a lifeguard a bit, and then own a couple of gyms as well, so it keeps me busy. I've got 2 kids, and that's about it.
Yeah, so you've got Life Cycle Fitness, and what's the other one? How do you say the other one?
The other one's ELAB over in Maroubra, so 2 different styles of gyms. Life Cycle's got your conventional sort of gym, weights and cardio on level 1, then we do a bunch of group training upstairs. And then over at ELAB at Maroubra, we've teamed up with some physios and exercise physiologists, and really looking at the sort of high performance end of movement and a bit of rehabilitation for people coming back from injuries, plus also the performance side. We've got some sponsored athletes on stage from down here, one of the young surfers and Lizzie Wellborn, and we get a few of the other athletes in there training, just sort of trying to improve their movement patterns and help them achieve success in their desired sports.
Do you know, I walk by that studio every single day and I had no idea what it was.
On your way to Domino's Pizza? I hope not.
No, my Bikram yoga is at Lava Yoga right there. And
It is next door almost.
It's a beautiful studio.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's been going. We've been open for a year now, and the results we're seeing over there are pretty incredible.
Yeah, okay.
With some people, so yeah, it's kind of a different style. It's it's bringing the best training modalities, Pilates, yoga, sort of some wellness stuff, and then your strength, your cardio, but just done in a controlled small group environment. And the results we're getting are amazing.
Are there classes that you can go to, or is it?
So we do classes. It's sort of 5, depending on which day. There's sort of 5 to 6 classes a day, and again ranging from strength and conditioning, core, Pilates, functional patterns, that sort of stuff.
Well, Ryan, I didn't know that the conversation was going to start out this way, but I stopped doing my CrossFit because I no longer live in Des Moines, and I've been looking for something to
there you go.
Come on down.
You've got a customer, right?
No, there we go. That was easy.
I've been doing Liam's personal training regime.
Oh, so you're brushing me already now for
No,
someone
not
else.
brushing you. I'm just
You're out, mate.
You're out. I'm done.
You're out.
Hey, if I'm done, I'm glad that you're going to another person here. So it's all good.
Never done.
It's all good. It's all love in here in the studio. So I want to know why you chose to go down that path of going from the group fitness style classes that you're doing at Life Cycle, and then choosing Maroubra and going down the path of rehab. Did you choose that demographic of that area? That's what they needed, or was it just the space that you got, or do you think that?
Yeah, it was just it was a bit of a couple of things. Mark Mitchell, one of the other owners in the business, owns Advanced Therapies, which is a physiotherapy business, an incredible physio sort of practice that probably got some of the best physios I've ever seen, and we work so closely with them that's why we chose that area. That space came up, and it just fitted well, working right near Mark, and the whole process is, we check in on people. They have an induction at the start. We know what injuries they've got. We know where they're at physically, also what their goals are, and we work closely with those guys. So that's one reason, but we are looking, to kind of grow it, and definitely that won't be the last ELAB.
Yeah, well, that's the next question. It was how many more do you want to just open up one more a year or something? Or
Not sure yet. I mean, the growth pattern, like any business, you iron out a few creases at the start, and we've sort of got some really, really good systems in place now, which are really getting good results with people, and everything from movement and rehabilitation to weight loss, aesthetics, everything's coming through, and we're getting good results. So yeah, it's just a matter of seeing what spaces come up, and there's only so many hours in the day, but we're doing our best to sort of get some more going and really reach out to everyone and get everyone training their best.
And do you think that you would amalgamate the two different ones, or do you enjoy keeping the separation of the group fitness style within life cycle and then the controlled in lab?
I think there's definitely a market for both. You know, like it's the movements we use up at life cycle and the types of sessions. They're pretty intense, and they get great results again for fitness, aesthetics wise, strength, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's definitely people that have restrictions in their movement, but also just want to educate themselves, and that's what eLab does. We do educate a lot over there, and we have seminars, and members are sort of open to us at any stage. They can kind of get any information they want out of us, and it's all about just trying to improve people. So yeah, they are two different styles of gyms, but both sort of, they both get good results, and I guess it depends what you want to be training for.
Yeah, exactly right. Do you think that, with the ever-growing trend of CrossFit, F45, is that why you think that, these styles of training methods out there, which is, life cycle is a little bit similar, but is that why the eLab thing came about? Because there's another need for...
Yeah, definitely. I think, I don't like talking negatively against any types of training, because everyone's got their goals and everyone has reasons why they want to train, and different training styles produce different results. But CrossFit, see a fair few injuries come from it, and I think it's pretty intense on the body. And that's, we get a lot of people coming to us at Lifestyle and eLab that have done a lot of that and have injured themselves. If you're good at it, then you're going to be good at it, and you can probably do it injury free. But people that kind of go in and try and throw heavy weights around without the right technique, it does tend to lead to a bit of injury. And I think life cycles, we use a lot of functional movements, and we use a lot of still controlled good exercises which teach technique. And then eLab is even more education over there, and we mix in Pilates with our strength sessions. And so you might be doing weights for 15 minutes, you'll be doing Pilates for 20 minutes, and then some conditioning. So it's bringing the best training modalities all under one roof.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know what? He's underestimated. Him and Trent Langlands are underestimated in the health and fitness world. Well, they're not. They're starting to boom now and getting recognised for the study that's gone into it. Because I used to train at Lifestyle. Before maybe when you just started being a business partner there, and they're always ahead of their time. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't train with many people in the eastern suburbs. I don't live in the eastern suburbs. But myself, as a trainer for 11 years, I wouldn't train with many people apart from these guys.
So can I ask the eLab, do you have to be rehabilitated to go there?
No, not at all. Like, we've got elite athletes that come and they just like our program. Yeah. It's just the way we sort of train is we're really encouraging people to look after their body and go for longevity in their training and whatever sport they choose. And we've got a range of people from 18-year-old athletes that are at the top of the Iron Woman series. Lizzie and Sage is a great young surfer from down here. My dad trains there. He's in his 60s. Exactly how old he is, but he's in his 60s and he's still killing it.
Yeah.
So it's just smaller groups, and it's tailor-made, and the people that are in there are also at the top of their game. We only employ really, really good trainers, physios, exercise physiologists, that sort of stuff. So the training, the level of the trainer is right up there, and then the level of program that comes out of that, and everything's tailored. If we know someone's got an injury, then we'll tailor their sessions purely for them. So
with the athlete thing, right? So you're also an athlete yourself.
Well, technically not, but I'll give anything a crack.
What's happening right now? You're doing because I'm looking out at this beautiful ocean, seeing people paddle out there, and you're talking about being an athlete, and I know that you've got something coming up soon. Yeah, is that right? What's
I do. Heading off to Hawaii in 4 weeks.
Close.
Yeah, terrifyingly close.
Okay.
So on the 30th of July, we'll be paddling from Molokai across the channel to Oahu. So it's a 53-kilometre paddle race. So pretty much on your guts or on your knees, just using your arms, and that'll take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, hopefully closer to 6.
Yeah. But and are you doing this on your own, or is there a team?
No, I'm doing it. I'll be doing it competing solo, but there are 5 of us from the lifeguards: myself, Reedy, Harry's, Corey Oliver, and Juliana are all heading over individually to compete. So it's been great. We've been training for a few months now, and it's just getting a bit cold in the mornings. Getting on the harbour when it's dark and 7 degrees isn't ideal, but it's we're having fun and we're learning about ourselves and learning how to push ourselves in a sport that we'd never done sort of any distance training at. And we teamed up with Diabetes Australia. We did an Ironman about 5 years ago down in Melbourne, and we raised money and awareness for autistic kids. And this time we've teamed up with Diabetes Australia to raise awareness for childhood obesity. And we're filming a documentary, which we've been travelling around the country doing kids active camps, so going and doing free sessions for kids on a Saturday morning. We did some in Perth, Gold Coast, Sydney, Adelaide, and then we're looking at a few other locations later in the year. So that's been a really rewarding thing for me, getting kids out, teaching them a little bit about nutrition and teaching them to sort of set goals and to be active. And that's what the whole thing is. We sort of started at Reedy, myself and the other guys, as this Question Your Impossible project. And we're just trying to get kids to think that nothing's impossible. You know, if you set little goals, you'll be able to achieve big ones, and that's what we sort of did. We set goals of starting at 10Ks, and our big goal's 53, and I'm pretty far from that, but we'll give it a crack in a month's time.
Well, we should give a call out to you when you're in Hawaii, and, because this is broadcasting over the internet, so we should be supporting him on the day. And
that'll be the day for sure.
It'll be the day before or whatever. So definitely I'll need all the well wishes and support I can get. I mean.
So do you think that it's important right now that that's something that's close to your heart, just targeting kids with obesity as like a method of awareness now? Is this something that's going to be permanently in the future, or are you going to change once again, or is this that set thing?
Nah, this sort of QII project that we came up with, it's something that I want to keep going, and this isn't the only challenge that I'll set for myself, or I know Reedy's keen. We've got a few other things in mind, and it's they don't always have to be big, hard, athletic things. We can set some other goals. We've been talking to kids about academic goals at school and just trying to improve a little bit here and there, and so they get to be a better person or a better student as they go. So the project itself's got a long way to go, and we're going to be behind it for as long as we can. And for me, childhood obesity is pretty, it's a close subject. I've got 2 kids of my own, and I definitely want to see them grow up healthy and active. And unfortunately, we do see a lot of obese children around these days, and it's getting worse and worse with the amount of sugar that kids are eating and the diets that are available now. And it's about getting out to these kids and trying to help them learn more about it and get it before it gets too late. The amount of diabetes that's around now is through the roof, and also just the negative impact it can have on people's mental states when they're unhappy with how they look or unhappy with how they feel. And get out and be active is the best form of mental clearing for me that I've ever come across. So whether it's surfing or having a run or whatever, you can always sort of get away and do your own thing, and clears the head. So hopefully we can get some kids and adults. It doesn't have to just be kids, but I think the next generation coming through have been probably let down a little bit by nutritional guidelines and also their parents, and I'll call parents out on that. And it's not, a little kid doesn't have the knowledge to make the right decisions, but a parent does. Everything he needs available to obtain on the internet now and all that. So it's it is up to the parents to be able to put the right food in the house and to get the kids eating the right stuff and not just feed them rubbish to keep them quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a point on that. Have you seen the movie What the Hell?
No.
It's an excellent movie, and I think that every parent should watch it. But along the lines of what you were saying, it's the decisions of the parents that need to be considered. But I don't think parents even know what's going on in the health industry. You go to the supermarket and you buy cold cuts, and you buy food from the grocery store, and you think that this food is healthy, and in reality, it's not.
No.
Most 80% of the food that we are consuming is filled with chemicals that are creating obesity and diabetes and cancer. And so I was just going to ask, when you are talking to these kids with obesity, obviously physical activity is a huge part of it, but so is diet and the right kind of diet.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, big companies are the kings of marketing, and they're putting what used to be in a big colourful box is now in like a brown cardboard looking box, and it looks organic, and people that sort of either know how to read the packaging on the back or don't have a good understanding of what they're eating or what they're feeding their kids would think that it's healthy because the packet looks healthy, and that's, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to raise awareness about what foods to certainly avoid, and then, you know, what foods that you should be trying to introduce into your diet, and just keeping everything in moderation. I mean, we're not trying to tell kids they're never going to eat a chocolate or they're never going to have a lolly again. That's
a treat food.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to eat that again, you know, but it's eating it once, or, you know, once a week or twice a week, not 10 or 15 times a week.
I say to my daughter that there's healthy chocolate out there and then there's bad chocolate. Dark chocolate, you know, 70% cocoa, it's still chocolate, it still tastes really good, and it's healthy for you.
Healthy, yeah.
So I always let her have that, you know.
I think that, sorry.
I find like dark chocolate as well. You don't need to eat as much of it.
No.
You can just have like 1 or 2 squares and you get your little fix.
Yes.
Whereas a milk
Milky
chocolate.
Way,
I've had a family block.
Yeah,
I've been
easy.
having a family block before.
Easy.
But I think that people, with awareness, because I've done a marketing diploma. I spent a year just doing marketing, focusing on marketing, and there's so much science behind marketing in general in terms of business terms, and that's what companies are using in their favour in all parts. So if people started to understand the marketing side of things rather than actually the food itself, then people would have an understanding of what we should or shouldn't eat. Because, you know, I've got an example. I think some companies would put on the packet light, you know, as in light, like I think you used to spell it
L-I-T-E,
which doesn't mean it's light in fat, light in sugar, light in anything. It just means it's lighter in weight, like as in that whole contents, like
lighter in nutrients.
Lighter in nutrients, like lighter. Doesn't say, but then our minds think light. Oh, it associates with that. That's a marketing term, so we pick it up and eat it. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's also like sugar-free this, or, you know, low-fat this. Sometimes they're the worst option.
100%.
You know, because what they put in it to make it taste good is just as bad as what was in it to start, the sugar or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it comes down to that, and I think, you know, the government needs to take a bit of a stand on it too, and you know, there's people out there calling for sugar taxes and stuff like that, and I think it's a good thing, because it's cheaper to go and get junk food than it is to go and get good food. Yeah. And we can grow the good food.
Hamburgers for $1.
Yeah.
I want $1. So we are cautious of your time though. So you do have your training today.
I do.
What time do you have to get out of here?
Mate, we've got a bit of time left, so we've got anything else we want to talk about. But we'll be floating around the harbour for a few hours.
So go see Whippet outside the Opera House again. I saw that photo. Was it you or Reedy that I saw the photo of?
Well, we've been up there a bunch of times so far. So I think today we're going to look at starting at Rose Bay and heading up past Cockatoo Island and head right up there. Hopefully don't bump into any bull sharks. And
it's freezing though. Is the water cold?
The water's actually pretty nice. Once you get going and you're paddling, it's alright. But yeah, we'll be looking to try and punch out a few hours, maybe 25k today.
What do you do in turn? Like, do you talk to each other, or are you just in the zone? Like,
Reedy doesn't shut up no matter where you are, so you just listen. But it's where, you know, we just kind of paddle along, and we're not going at race pace, as you'd say. We're just trying to punch out some Ks and get the arms moving. So yeah, we have a chat and a laugh, and you know, it's actually sort of opened me up. I've seen more of the harbour in the last sort of month or two than I'd seen in my other 33 years of living. So you know, it's been great. I've experienced some cool things, and we've had some really fun times out on the water. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this afternoon. It's a cracker day here in Sydney, and ready to go.
Freaks me out going past the shore break.
God, that's so gorgeous. It's such a
that must be my English heritage though.
Yeah,
I was born in England.
And you'll get burnt if you go out. If you go out the back and back, you'll be burnt. You got to stay close and keep reapplying the sunscreen.
I think I was freaked out one time. I thought it was you, but I think it was actually Rob Bruns that came in to save me. I was actually at Bronny. We grew up around Bronny. Yeah. You were probably lifeguarding at the time. Probably yesterday actually. No, I was at Bronny and went out with Ben Saylor. Yeah. And I had a bodyboard and I didn't have any flippers. First time out in the bodyboard. Went straight out the back. Saylor took me out to what is it, behind the pool? What do you
Yeah,
call it?
bunnies out
Bunnies.
there.
I was right out the back of Bunnies, and it was like 4 foot, probably a foot, but it.
You sound like every other English backpacker that's turned
Yeah.
up. Your brother used to do that, just go out and get stuck in the rip as
Get
well.
stuck in the rip as
Shout
well.
out to Johnny Zollo if he's listening.
Johnny Zollo, he will be listening, I think.
He better be.
But I was actually caught out there though for like a good half an hour. Ben Saylor went back in and left me by myself, and then Rob Bruns had to come grab me. Saw me struggling out the back there, so
Aww.
probably a bit freaked out now ever since then. That's probably why I don't go past hip.
Hit deep. But you know, like it's one of those things. It's, you know, I've sort of spent my whole life in the ocean, and I do know what's swimming below me. But we're on 12-foot long boards, and hopefully we don't look that tasty. But yeah, you definitely think about it, whether I'm surfing or swimming laps of the bay or paddling. You know, I find when we're paddling, you can end up a couple of K out to sea. So yeah, you definitely. I'm not going to say it doesn't cross my mind, but I'm not. You know, it's sort of one of those things that you're probably more likely to get hit by a car on the way to training than you are get hit by a shark while you're out there.
You'd be freaked out if you were further north though as well, where I was living in Yamba. I mean, that's like that's around there, Ballina and that. What's going on with that though? Why is there so many shark attacks up there in that present time? My brother lives up there, by the way, Sheena.
Sorry?
In Lennox Head. In
Oh
Ballina,
yeah,
Byron
that's
Bay.
right. Is that where your mom?
Sharks everywhere.
Yeah. So there's sharks everywhere.
Yeah.
People just getting bitten left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what is it?
I don't know why. There's, you know, I mean, there is probably a reason for it, but
Hello,
there's,
humans are swimming in the ocean.
yeah, well, that's why we're getting bitten. But the amount of sharks up there has just gone through the roof. And
And lately, like my brother lived up there for about 5 years, and in the last year and a half, it just seems to be like shark attack in the same spot after shark attack. My brother had a theory. I don't know if it's one of his bullcrap theories.
one of his other theories.
He said that there's a whale that crossed up on the shore, and they dug it into the sand, and that something creeped.
Seeps out.
Seeps
Yeah,
out.
right.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know if anyone can really put it down to anything. I mean, maybe fishing. You know, we're getting rid of a lot of the fish up there. A lot of probably less fuel, food sources for sharks. So maybe they're coming in further to chase more fish, or currents. Climate, global warming's definitely messing with the water temperatures at different times of the year. Plus, whale migrations. That part of the coast sticks out. Byron's kind of the most eastern part of Australia, so the whales probably get a little closer to the coast up there, and maybe that's one thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know why they're there. I wish they weren't. But it is. We go into their playground, so we've got to put up with the fact that there's a chance you're going to get bitten.
Exactly right.
So you're gonna train for like 2 hours. You're gonna be exhausted when you come out of the water. You're gonna be cold. You're gonna dry yourself off. What's the first thing that you're gonna do? Like, are you gonna eat?
Probably eat.
What do you eat?
Just depends. I don't know. I don't know what's on the menu for dinner tonight.
All the burgers out there.
Nah.
Definitely not
No,
that.
but is there
Definitely
like a
not that.
staple food that you love to go to after you do a hard workout like this?
Not really. Like, we eat while we train. Like, I'll eat before I go, and then we take a bunch of sort of nutritional supplements sort of things while we're out there, gels and
Whilst you're out in the water?
just
Oh,
like put them in
wow,
your pocket.
okay.
They're just little things, and you can just little gels.
You
can
don't throw
suck
the
them
plastic
down.
away in the
Nah,
water.
keep them in your pocket. And but yeah, you kind of. I mean, you finish. We'll probably paddle for 3 hours this afternoon, and if you keep your fluids up and a few gels while you're training, and you get out, you're hungry, but you just eat like normal.
Yeah.
Maybe just put a couple of extra portions on.
And just a random question. I don't know why. This popped up for me. I'm just thinking about the Bronny scenario. Why do you think? I'm not trying to come from an ego standpoint here, but why do you think there's so many successful people in that group of mates at your age that just came out of that group? Do you think that you all egged each other on as kids or something? Because like my brother's like really good friends with Whippet, and that crew just seems to be like a very successful crew in their own right.
Are they all surfers, or are they all
different backgrounds?
Yeah, everyone's kind of doing different things, but I think when you.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, keep going.
I think every group of mates, whether it's from Bronny or from different beaches, I mean, there's some of my most successful mates are from Maroubra, but we grew up as a group, and as soon as I think you see one of your mates start doing well, you kind of want to emulate that, and you look up to them, and and that's sort of, I guess, what drives you to do something good, in your own field. Like obviously we've had some really good surfers come out of Bronny, and for a place that's got pretty bad waves in general, like Tommy Whitaker, Luke Hitchings, Rod Kerr, like there's always been a good staple list of somewhat, like those guys were fully professional surfers for a decade at a time. So, that, and I guess, those couple of really young good footy players, Brendan McKinnon and a few of those guys, there's some good young surfers coming through. But in the water, everyone tries to push themselves, but then on land, like some of the best carpenters I know and chippies, and have got really successful businesses, and plumbers or whatever, like everyone. I mean, you've got to be doing something right to be able to live in the eastern suburbs these days. So I think that's it. Everyone's got to be driven a bit by money.
Exactly right.
Bronny, is that Bronte?
Bronte,
okay,
yeah.
guys,
yeah,
I'm a foreigner.
If you live there for long enough, you just drop the T and it turns into Bronte.
Okay. So you've been born and raised in this eastern suburbs, okay?
Yeah, born and raised in Bronte, so yeah, it's good.
It's got this awesome the family home on the hill there at the southern end of Bronny.
Yeah.
So
it was a pretty perfect place to grow up. We had a really good community spirit down there, and like the local board riders club does great things now, which I'm a part of. We've got a great group of young kids down there now that are surfing a lot, and the board riders kind of helps give them a bit of direction and gives them something to do on a weekend. And I think it's just always the older guys really look out for the younger guys down there, so it's always been a good place to grow up. You didn't have to worry too much, and we could get up to a bit of mischief, and the kids probably get caught more now. But
is there still grom abuse going around there? So
yeah, a little bit.
I copped a bit of grom abuse.
Yeah. Well, you hung out on the clock at the wrong end of the beach. But yeah, grom abuse is at every beach. Like it's a rite of passage for kids growing up, and for older guys that have been there for a while. It's certainly toned down a lot, I think, at every beach now compared to what it used to be.
People used to get locked in gutters and stuff.
Yeah,
like
locked in cages and
locked in cages.
Strip nude and all these things that if
Where
you did that, you'd be in a lot of trouble these days. But yeah, I think it shows. I think there should be more of it. Like it kind of teaches kids respect for your elders and also respect for your beach. If you just get down there and they treat it like rubbish, then they'll get treated like rubbish. And I think that's a good way to sort of teach kids, and it's not their parents doing it, which is, I think, is a blessing for the parents, because I'm pretty sure when my kids grow up, they'll listen to the older boys down the beach more than they will me.
How old are your children?
I've got a 4-year-old and one's about to turn 2.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I dare say we'll be going one more.
Going one more?
Yeah.
So you're creating a tribe.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good. It's always, keeps you busy, but I just think of the good times that you get out of having them, and that's what.
3's a good number too. You'll be able to hang out with each other. Feel like you do what you want to do.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So it's 2 boys though, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys now.
2 boys.
Yeah.
Little sorry, I was going to say little John because we've got my dad John as well. Johnny Zollo just had a baby as well.
He did. He had his second boy, so that was good. I've seen some pictures.
I didn't realise, as an uncle, for the last 5 years, what he's been doing with his names as a theme. I didn't have a clue what he was doing until he brought out text. So his first baby's Philo. Can you figure it out? Philo is the first baby's name. The second one's Nash, and the third one's Tex. Can you figure out what those 3 names?
They're cities in the US.
Exactly right. I'm like, have you ever been to the US, John? He goes, no. I'm like, why are you naming your kids after cities in America that you've never been to before?
Mate, he's only been to Italy once and he got that tattooed on his foot, so he's...
Can we move on to something a little bit more important, please?
Yeah,
no worries. We'll bring it back. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
I was thinking about this morning. You know what would motivate me? Is if there was a website where there were real hot men that helped train you, because that would motivate me to get up in the morning.
So you want hot men training you? Well, you got a hot man
No, a hot single man. A hot single man.
Hot single man, okay.
Yeah, you